Last week, I watched a 74-year-old woman crying at gate C-14 in Dallas. She wasn't crying because she was scared of flying. She was crying because the gate agent had just closed the door in her face. The plane was still there, the jet bridge was still attached, but because she walked a little slower than the 20-year-old backpackers, and because the signage in that massive terminal was confusing, she arrived 2 minutes past the cutoff. The agent looked at her with that cold, dead stare we are trained to have and said, "Policy is policy, ma'am. You'll have to pay a change fee for the next flight." I was working that flight. I was standing right there, and my blood was absolutely boiling, because that agent knew, and I knew, that this woman wasn't just late. She was a victim of a system designed to extract maximum profit from the most vulnerable passengers. She didn't know the magic words to say. She didn't know the federal rights she surrendered. The moment she didn't speak up, she lost $300 that day because nobody told her the rules of the game. That ends today. My name is Benny. I have spent the last 15 years wearing a flight attendant uniform, waking up in different time zones, and serving coffee at 35,000 feet. I've worked the red days, the long hauls, and the chaotic holiday rushes. I know the flight deck codes, I know what the chimes mean, and more importantly, I know exactly what the airlines are legally required to do for you. Specifically if you are over the age of 70, that they simply hope you never ask about. The airlines operate on a business model of silence is revenue. If you don't ask, they don't give. But today, I'm breaking the code of silence. I'm going to walk you through 11 specific, hidden benefits and protections that you or your elderly parents are entitled to. These aren't just tips. These are leverage. We are going to talk about how to get bags flown for free, how to guarantee you never miss a connection again, and how to get the VIP treatment that is usually reserved for million-milers, all without spending an extra dime. You need to pay close attention to number 4. Because it is the single biggest money saver on this list, and I guarantee 99% of you are doing it wrong. Let's get into the things they don't want you to know. Benefit number 1, the Meet and Assists designation. Most people think airport assistance is binary. You either walk or you're in a wheelchair. That is a lie. There is a massive gray area that airlines hate dealing with because it costs them labor hours. But it is your absolute right to use it. It's called Meet and Assist. Let's say you can walk fine. You don't need a wheelchair. But maybe your hearing isn't what it used to be, or maybe the anxiety of navigating a massive hub like Atlanta or Heathrow is overwhelming. Maybe you just get confused reading the departure boards because they change every 30 seconds. If you just show up and hope for the best, you are asking for disaster. But if you call the airline 48 hours before your flight, and specifically ask for a Meet and Assists note on your PNR, that's your passenger name record. Everything changes. When you have this designation, the airline is obligated to provide an escort. This isn't just someone pointing you in the right direction. This is a staff member who guides you from the check-in counter, through the chaos of security, and right to your gate. They are your shield. They handle the confusion so you don't have to. The airlines don't advertise this. Why? Because they don't have enough staff. They want you to fend for yourself. But if you ask for it, they cannot deny it if you articulate a need based on a sensory or cognitive difficulty. Don't let your pride cost you your flight. Use the system. Benefit number 2. The FDA medical baggage loophole. This is the one that makes me the angriest when I see seniors paying up. I see it all the time. A nice older couple gets to the counter. They have their 2 standard suitcases, but then they have a third small bag. Maybe it has a CPAP machine. Maybe it has a supply of liquid nutrition, or specialized comfortable pillows for a bad back, or a month's supply of medication. The agent puts it on the scale. That'll be $40 for the third bag, they say. And the couple pays it. They pull out their credit card, and they pay the airline for the privilege of staying alive. Here is the reality. Medical equipment does not count towards your carry-on limit or your checked bag limit. This is not airline policy, This is federal regulation, but here is the catch. You cannot mix your items. If you have a bag that contains only your CPAP machine, your nebulizer, your medications, or your diabetes supplies, that bag flies for free. It is invisible to the baggage counter. But the second you throw a pair of socks or a paperback book in there, it becomes luggage, and they can charge you. I want you to pack a separate, dedicated health bag. When you get to the gate or the counter and they try to tag it or charge you, you look them in the eye and say, "This is exclusively medical equipment exempt from carry-on limits." Watch how fast they back down. They are terrified of an ADA violation complaint. You just saved yourself $50 each way. Benefit number 3. The person of size strategy for comfort. Now, this is controversial, and I'm going to get some heat from corporate for telling you this. We usually associate the person of size policy with obesity. But as we age, our bodies change, we get stiff. Maybe you've had a hip replacement. Maybe you have severe arthritis. Being crammed into a 17-inch economy seat isn't just uncomfortable. For a senior citizen, it can be physically damaging. Some airlines, and you need to check the specific carrier because this varies, have policies that allow for a second seat to be refunded if the flight isn't full, or offer discounted rates for a second seat if you cannot physically fit in one with the armrests down without pain or injury. If you have a physical condition that requires you to sit in a certain way that encroaches on the next seat, you need to speak to the Special Assistance Department before you book. Don't just book a single seat and suffer in silence. Frame the conversation around safety and health. Say, "I have a medical condition that prevents me from contracting my body into a standard seat without injury." You aren't just asking for legroom, you are documenting a health need. This often triggers a different set of inventory options or protections that the average passenger never sees. Which brings me to benefit number 4. And this is the one I told you to wait for. This is about your water. You are dehydrating on a plane faster than you realize. The humidity in my cabin is lower than the Sahara Desert. For a 20-year-old, that's annoying. For a 70-year-old taking blood pressure medication or blood thinners, that is a clotting risk. It is a stroke risk. You know the drill. You get through security, you're thirsty, and a bottle of water is $8, so you don't buy it. You wait for the service. You wait for me to come down the aisle with my little cart. I give you a plastic cup that holds maybe 4 ounces of water, half of which is ice. That is not enough. Here is the secret. You are allowed to bring liquids in excess of 3.4 ounces through TSA if they are medically necessary. Benny, water isn't medicine. Oh really? If you have a condition, and almost everyone over 70 has something, whether it's dry mouth from medication, kidney concerns, or circulation issues, water is absolutely medical. Here is how you do it. You freeze a water bottle solid. Ice is a solid, not a liquid. It goes through the scanner, fine, but even if it's liquid, you can declare it as medically necessary water for a health condition. You may be subject to additional screening. They might open it and test the vapor. But you have the right to bring your own hydration if you state it is for a medical condition. Stop relying on me to keep you hydrated. I have 150 passengers and only so much water on the cart. Take control of your own health. Benefit number 5. The pre-boarding Fed law reality. I see seniors standing in the Group 4 lane, leaning on their canes, looking exhausted, waiting for 30 minutes, while the Diamond Platinum Elite business guys board first. Why? Why are you doing that? Well, Benny, I didn't want to be a bother. I didn't want to pay for priority boarding. Listen to me. You do not pay for priority boarding if you need extra time. Pre-boarding is not a perk. It is a federally mandated right for anyone who needs additional time or assistance to board the aircraft. You do not need to be in a wheelchair. You do not need to show a doctor's note. You do not need to prove anything to the gate agent when they announce pre-boarding for passengers needing extra time. That is you. If you are 75 and your balance isn't great, you need extra time. If you move slower because of a knee replacement, you need extra time. If you need a moment to sanitize your seat because your immune system is compromised, you need extra time. Do not wait for your zone. Walk up when they call pre-boarding. If the agent challenges you, and they rarely will, but if they do, you simply say, "I require additional time to board due to a physical limitation." That's it. That is the magic phrase. They cannot ask you what the limitation is. It is illegal for them to ask. Go get your seat, stow your bag without the rush, and settle in before the chaos starts. Benefit number 6. The Gate Valet, for assistive devices. Everyone knows you can check a stroller, but did you know you can check almost any assistive device? And it will be waiting for you at the door of the plane when you land. Not at baggage claim. I'm talking about walkers, rollators, and even specific ergonomic cushions or supports. I've seen seniors struggle to fold a walker and stuff it into the overhead bin, holding up the whole line, feeling embarrassed. Don't do that. Get a gate delivery tag from the agent. You use your walker all the way down the jet bridge to the aircraft door. You leave it there. When we land, my ramp team brings it right back to the aircraft door. You don't have to walk unassisted to baggage claim. This prevents damage to your expensive equipment, and it ensures you have your mobility aid the second you step off the plane. Make sure you watch the agent put the tag on, and make sure it says, "Claim at gate," not "Claim at carousel." Benefit number 7. The Unfit to Fly Refund Override. This is a big one involving money. We all buy the non-refundable tickets because they are cheaper, and we all know the panic when you wake up the morning of the flight and you feel terrible. Maybe it's a severe vertigo flare-up. Maybe it's a sudden drop in blood pressure. If you just don't show up, you lose your money. The airline keeps it. However, if you have a documented age-related medical incident, you can often override the non-refundable rule. You need a letter from your doctor stating specifically that you are medically unfit to fly on that date. Do not just cancel the ticket online. That triggers the automatic no-refund computer system. You need to call the airline, escalate to a supervisor, and submit the medical documentation. Most major carriers have an internal policy, often hidden, that allows for a full credit or even a cash refund in the event of a sudden medical incapacitation, especially for seniors. They don't want you dying on their plane. It's bad PR. Use that to your advantage. Benefit number 8. Priority during tarmac delays. We've all heard the horror stories. The plane pushes back, taxis out, and then sits there. For 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. The toilets get full, the air gets stale. They run out of snacks. For a young person, this is a nightmare. For a senior citizen, this is a health hazard. The Department of Transportation has strict rules about tarmac delays, but here is the secret. If you have a health condition, diabetes that requires food at certain times, a bladder condition, a need to move to prevent DVT, deep vein thrombosis, you need to self-identify to me, the flight attendant, immediately. Don't sit there suffering, ring the call bell, tell me. I am a senior citizen with a medical condition that requires access to food water restrooms, and prolonged sitting is a health risk. We are required to check on the well-being of passengers during delays. If we know there is a vulnerable passenger on board, the captain can sometimes use that information to prioritize a return to the gate. If the delay becomes excessive, we can't prioritize you if we don't know. Don't be the silent sufferer, be the squeaky wheel. Your health depends on it. Benefit number 9. Private security screening. TSA is a nightmare. Taking off the shoes, the belt, the jacket, people yelling at you to hurry up. It's disorienting and dignified for no one, especially if you have metal implants, ostomy bags, or adult garments that you are private about. You have the right to a private screening. You do not have to be patted down in front of 300 people. You can request a private room. But better than that, if you are 75 or older, you actually have a modified screening process. You are generally not required to remove your shoes or a light jacket. If the TSA officer barks at you to take your shoes off, you stop and say, "I am over 75. They have to check your ID, and then let you keep them on. Don't let them bully you into undressing more than you have to. Know the 75+ rule. It's on the TSA website, but they often forget to mention it when the line is long. Benefit number 10. The dietary medical override. Airline food is salty, it's processed, it's terrible. If you are on a strict renal diet, or low sodium, or diabetic diet, trusting the standard chicken or pasta option is risky. You know you can order a special meal, but did you know that if the airline fails to load your special meal, which happens on about 20% of my flights, you are often entitled to compensation? If you pre-ordered a diabetic meal and we don't have it, we have failed to provide a medically necessary accommodation that was agreed upon. Don't just say, "Oh well, I'll eat the pretzels." You need to file a complaint. But the proactive benefit is this. You are allowed to bring your own food through security. I'm not talking about a sandwich. I'm talking about a full cooler bag if it is required for a special diet. Again, the magic words are medically necessary dietary supplies. Frozen gel packs are allowed to keep this food cold if they are frozen solid at the checkpoint. Pack your own high-quality, safe food. Treat the airplane like a picnic, where you control the menu. Benefit number 11. The visual and cognitive seating block. This is the rarest one, but I've used it for passengers myself. If you are traveling alone and you have vision problems, hearing issues, or cognitive decline, you can request to be seated in a specific area where the crew can monitor you. We often have a few seats that are blocked for airport use or crew rest. If the flight isn't 100% full, and you self-identify as a passenger who might need assistance understanding safety commands or navigating the cabin, the gate agent can sometimes move you to a preferred aisle seat near the galley. This puts you right next to us. It means you get your water faster. It means we keep an eye on you. It means you aren't stuck in row 38 window. You have to ask the gate agent for a disability seating accommodation due to vision or hearing. It often gets you an upgrade to economy, plus without the fee, purely so we can ensure your safety. Listen to me, I know this is a lot of information. I know it feels like you are going into battle every time you step into an airport. That's because you are. The modern airport is a factory, and you are just a unit of production on a conveyor belt. But you have rights, you have dignity, and you have 15 years of my experience backing you up now. The next time you fly to see your grandkids, or you take that bucket list trip to Europe, I don't want you to be the victim. I don't want you crying at gate C14. I want you to be the person who breezes through security with their shoes on. I want you to be the person boarding first, settling into your seat with your own healthy food and plenty of water. I want you to be the person who knows that the system can work for you, if you just know which lever to pull. If you found value in these secrets, if you want to know how to handle lost luggage, how to get flight attendants to treat you like royalty, or the truth about turbulence that pilots won't tell you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm building a community of smart, savvy travelers who refuse to be treated like cattle. Join us. And one last thing. When you do get on that plane, and you see that exhausted flight attendant greeting you at the door, smile at them. We're fighting the airline's crazy policies just as hard as you are. I'm Benny. Fly safe, fly smart, and I'll see you in the sky. Pause for 3 seconds, fade to black. Writer's note to the user, the script above is approximately 19,002,000 words. To reach the strict 30,003,500 word constraint requested, I need to expand significantly on the story example sections of each point. The current draft is punchy and viral optimized. But to hit 3,000+ words, we would need to triple the length of the anecdotes. Below is the expanded version of specific sections to integrate into the script to meet your word count requirement. Expansion pack: insert these sections into the script above to reach word count targets. Insert this detailed story into Benefit 1 Meet and Assistlet. Me tell you exactly what this looks like when it goes wrong, so you understand the stakes. 2 months ago, I had a gentleman named Arthur on my flight from Chicago to Phoenix. Arthur was 82. sharp as a tack. But he moved slow. He didn't order the meet and assist because he didn't want to feel old. He landed in Chicago O'Hare, one of the most confusing airports in the world. His arrival gate was in Terminal 1, Concourse B. His connection was in Terminal 1, Concourse C. On paper, that looks close. In reality, it is a trek. There is an underground neon tunnel. There are moving walkways that were broken that day. Arthur got disoriented. He couldn't hear the overhead announcements because O'Hare is deafeningly loud. He started walking in the wrong direction. By the time he realized his mistake, he was panicked. His heart rate was up, he was sweating. He finally found a cart driver and asked for a ride. But the driver said, "Sorry, buddy, I am booked for a job," and drove right past him. Arthur missed his flight. He spent 6 hours sitting on a hard plastic chair, waiting for the next one. When he finally got on my plane, he was exhausted. He was shaking. He told me, "Benny, I used to run a company with 500 employees, and today I felt like a child lost in a supermarket." It broke my heart. If Arthur had simply requested meet and assist, a dedicated agent would have been waiting at the jet bridge, with his name on a placard. They would have walked him, at his pace, to the tunnel. They would have escorted him to the gate. They would have verified he was in the right place. It changes the travel experience from a survival test into a guided tour. Do not be Arthur, be the boss you are, order the service. Insert this deep dive into Benefit 3. The seating. Let's dig deeper into this person of size or comfort issue. Because I know you're skeptical. You're thinking, "Benny, the airline is just going to laugh at me." No, they won't. And here is why. Liability. Airlines are terrified of in-flight medical emergencies. They cost thousands of dollars. If we have to divert a plane because you developed a blood clot from being compressed into a seat, that costs the airline anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 in fuel, landing fees, and crew time. When you call them, and you must call, do not do this via chatbot. You are framing this as a preventative measure. You say, "I am 78 years old. I have a fused hip. If I am forced to sit with my leg at a 90-degree angle for 4 hours, I am at high risk for a medical incident." You have just used the magic words. You have shifted the liability onto them. If they say no, and something happens, they are negligent. The agent on the phone has a script. When they hear medical risk, they look for solutions. Sometimes they will block the middle seat next to you. Sometimes they will move you to a bulkhead seat where there is no seat in front of you to crush your knees. Sometimes they will offer you a discounted upgrade to premium economy. They won't give you first class for free. Let's be real. But they will find a way to accommodate the physical reality of your body, to avoid the liability of your injury. You have to be your own advocate. You have to speak their language. The language of the airline is not comfort. The language of the airline is risk management. Insert this expansion into Benefit 5 pre-boarding. I want to talk about the psychology of the gate lice. You know who I'm talking about. The people who crowd around the boarding area 30 minutes before the flight, blocking the path, creating a wall of anxiety. When you are an older traveler, that crowd is intimidating. It's a physical barrier. When I say, use your federal right to pre-board, I am telling you to bypass that wall, but I want to warn you about the gate agent glare. Gate agents are under immense pressure. They have to get that plane out on time, or they get penalized. They are looking for reasons to yell at people. They are looking for bags that are too big. They are stressed. When you walk up before your zone is called, they might snap at you. We haven't called Zone 4 yet. Do not flinch. Do not apologize. Do not step back. You look them in the eye. You smile, because you are a classy individual, and you say clearly, "I am utilizing pre-boarding for a medical condition that requires extra time." Watch their face change. They will immediately wave you through. Why? Because they cannot challenge you. The Air Carrier Access Act, ACACA, protects you. Once you are on the plane, the benefit continues. You aren't being whacked in the head by backpacks from people rushing down the aisle. You have the overhead bin space right above your seat before it fills up. You can take your time to organize your sanitizing wipes, your seatbelt, your book. You can settle your heart rate. By the time the stampede starts, you are already buckled in, reading your magazine, looking out the window. That peace of mind, that is priceless, and it is your right. Insert this technical breakdown into Benefit 10 dietary. Let's get specific about the food, because bringing your own food sounds easy until you meet a TSA agent having a bad day. You've packed a yogurt, or maybe a protein shake, or a specific soup that you need for your digestion. TSA liquid rules are 311, 3 ounces. That's nothing. If you try to bring a standard container, they will throw it in the trash. Here is the frozen rule in detail. The TSA website explicitly states that if a liquid is frozen solid when presented for screening, it is allowed. If it is slushy, confiscated. If there is a little water at the bottom, confiscated. So here is the Benny protocol for senior nutrition. Moan. Buy a high-quality cooler bag. 2. Freeze your liquid nutrition or specific soft foods rock hard for 48 hours before the flight. 3. Use legitimate ice packs, also frozen rock hard. 4. When you get to the belt, you take that cooler bag out. You tell the officer, frozen medical nutrition. If they flag it, do not panic. Ask for a supervisor immediately. The regular line agents sometimes don't know the obscure rules. The supervisors do. You explain. I have a dietary restriction that requires specific foods not available in the terminal or on the aircraft. These items are frozen solid in accordance with TSA guidelines. It takes confidence. It takes preparation. But it means you aren't stuck eating a bag of sodium-packed chips for dinner. It means you control your blood sugar. It means you land feeling good, not feeling sick. Ending note expansion. Friends. I've been flying since the days when we carved the roast beef in the aisle. I've seen the golden age of travel, and I've seen the current age of the bus in the sky. The industry has changed. It has become colder, faster, and more ruthless. It is designed for the business traveler with a corporate card and the backpacker with strong knees. It is not designed for you, but that doesn't mean you can't win. Knowledge is the only weapon you have against a billion-dollar corporation. They have algorithms, they have policies, they have fine print. You have me. I need you to promise me something. The next time you book a ticket, I want you to print out a checklist of these rights. I want you to carry it in your pocket like a shield. I don't want you to be passive. I want you to be polite, but I want you to be firm. Because you have earned these years. You have worked hard. You have raised families. You have contributed to society. You deserve to travel with dignity. You deserve to see the world without fear. Don't let the airlines clip your wings just because they want to save a buck. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video with your friends, your church group, your bingo circle. Send it to your kids and tell them, this is how I'm flying from now on. Let's start a revolution of savvy senior travelers. Let's make the airlines notice us. I'm Benny, and I'm always in your corner. Safe travels.